Hello, my name is Stephen Frost. I'm the CEO of Included. We're a global impact-led diversity inclusion consultancy. And I write, I teach, I consult on diversity, equity and inclusion, working with lots of interesting leaders all around the world. I think technology can accelerate inclusion in a couple of ways. Firstly, by empowering those people who've been disempowered before. So most obviously disabled folks, like we saw during the pandemic, that people were actually seeing disabled people on camera as people for the first time, rather than their disability for the first time, perhaps during a commuting session or what have you. I think also in terms of reducing bias. So in terms of actually trying to get more accurate results calibrated by multiple data points, rather than just relying on individual perceptions without that. So the scale has allowed us to do that. I think there are several missed opportunities sometimes with tech. One is obviously that we forget that while we talk about machine learning and AI and artificial intelligence and so forth, it's actually human beings that input into the tech. So those human biases are going into the tech. And I think a missed opportunity is not debiasing or calibrating the decision-making and the coding when we actually design those things. We design them thinking we're designing, objective tools, and they're not. So we need to really input a stage in our design thinking to debias and to ensure inclusion so that we don't unconsciously exclude. By definition, I think people who think that they're leaders are probably pretty clued up on what they do on their day job. But because things are changing so much in terms of where we work, how we work, who's working, we need to adapt. We need to adapt constantly and at an increasing pace. And it's somewhat ironic that often the more senior you are, or the more expert you are, the less likely you are to realize you need to adapt. And so actually we're having to adapt in multiple ways. And I would argue one of the best ways is by just including people who are as different from you as you can possibly handle and allowing them to cover your blind spots, de-risk your decision-making, calibrate your decisions and so forth. So that actually by including them, it's better for them, it's better for you, and that adaptation process can be beneficial all around. So I think real inclusion, and by that I mean generally including people who are as different from you as you can handle. I think this drives innovation by definition. Because if innovation is bringing together different ideas to have a catalytic effect, to actually create new things, if you're just including the same people and the same ideas, you're not going to progress nearly as fast or as far or in new ways as you could if you go outside your comfort zone. So truly including different people and making yourself uncomfortable consciously in order to kind of have that collision of ideas and personalities and forces is innately a way that we innovate and ideate, create new things. So there are a few barriers. Including people is hard. But whilst diversity is a fact, inclusion is a choice. And I think we have to try and overcome barriers such as psychological safety. In other words, just including people and thinking that's it isn't the end of the story, because different people have different confidence levels. And you get the proverbial brilliant sparks or quiet geniuses who won't contribute if they don't feel safe to contribute, if they don't feel safe to be able to offer arguments which are against the prevailing opinion or challenge decision makings of the status quo. So we have to consciously create an environment that's genuinely open and safe for people to contribute so that inclusion can truly fulfill its potential. New technology, I think, comes with several risks. If we, again, think of technology as a panacea, we're going to be disappointed because, with new technology, new algorithms, new outputs comes new areas of bias, right? And indeed, any kind of new search term will result in inaccuracies and so forth. So some of the things we've got to watch out for are that we don't see technology as an objective answer or an objective standard, an objective truth, but actually simply as one input to our decision-making. The decision-making still ultimately has to be human, right? That otherwise we might rely on things which give us spurious results that really, really disproportionately impact negatively some people rather than others. And examples would include not only search results on a search engine, but also things like clinical trials or other ways that we try and actually use technology to improve results for everyone.